Hello everyone and welcome to the third race of the Interstellar Racing Touring Car Series. Today we're racing on the Knockhill racing circuit and I'm joined by my good friend and fellow commentator, Paolo. Good evening, Paolo.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for being here today as we watch these great gladiators battling it out on this tricky but short circuit. Do you have much experience with the Knockhill racing circuit, Paolo?
Only in Project Cars 2. Never raced it here on iRacing and don't even know it.
Yeah, fair. I mean, it's a tough track. It's quite small. It's narrow. It's quite flowy. So I'm sure the drivers will absolutely love it. So,
Yeah.
as you guys know, we're today in Scotland. This is the international layout of the circuit. It's a 2-kilometer track length, so it's pretty small. The temperature is 18 degrees, so it's quite chilly here today, which I think these drivers will like. So it won't be as slidey as it could be. And yeah, so we currently have practice still going on, but it should be all right. Check out what's happening currently in the last seconds of practice before we get into qualifying. We do see Brandon in the lead once again.
Personally, I'm not really that much of a fan of this track. Since it's more of the club kind of tracks, you know, it's a short track. It's really, how do you say it, thin or straight. Can
Yeah,
forgot now another word. So it's not really the kind of tracks I like, since it involves more slower cars to race, which is fine. It has a lot of elevation changes and some tricky corners to do, but yeah, it should be good at least for touring cars. We've seen it previous seasons too, especially on the hairpin, giving the best overtaking spot there is. As we see a lot of times you go two wheels as well, like Brendan just now. And yeah,
yeah,
hopefully we have wow, a drift as well.
yeah. Starts off well with him for a drift. That's probably not how he likes to start his qualifying. But thankfully he doesn't interfere in anyone else's lap. So thankfully it's just his out lap. He has good 14 minutes left to go for that one. But it shouldn't be a big problem for him yet. Alright, just a couple of cars popping in and out, but we should have the first couple people going to settle up. So
I have never seen this track in reverse, even though there is a reverse layout. I wonder if it's good.
I mean, it's one of the more challenging tracks, I believe. It also has an oval layout, which is a scary tri-oval.
Yeah.
So, let's ride on board for a lap, shall we? With Yoni here, who is currently sending two purple sectors so far. A very tricky uphill right-hander. Use all the curb on the exit to make sure you can get as good a run as you can on this straight.
Can we see just the standings? I wasn't here the last week, so I forgot to check it out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't get them on stream yet. They'll be sorted out for next week. But I believe currently Brandon is in P1 with I believe it's Isaac running up to him, but I'll get confirmation on that one quite soon. We do have the standings come up. Joni sitting a lap, Benjamin immediately improving it by 4/10. So it's starting off quite well. I mean, people are really into it. Big spread so far, but some quite close times to each other already. Let's see if we can get some drivers out at some point. Brandon is on the line. He hasn't really set his lap time that he wants to yet. Still a bit slidey, it seems like. But Yoni is improving on his lap though, grabbing already purple sector in the middle sector and green sector in his first. Brandon does go to P1 by about almost 4/10, but can Yoni improve on his lap and get it up to P1? And he does by 2.5 tenths. Look at that. A lot of drivers setting purple sectors already. I mean, it is the early hours of qualifying, so it doesn't say much yet, but this could end up being a very, very exciting race if this goes on. Because Brandon isn't just at the top and leading.
Yeah, but it is still really early to tell. I mean, we saw Brendan miss the first lap because of his spin. I mean, not spin, just drifting out. So maybe a second lap is better for times. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming with these cars you just fill them up and do a couple consecutive laps because you want to get the temperature and you want to get it running, you know.
Yeah.
We do see Isaac trying to set a good lap. He had a purple first sector, but I believe he caught onto some traffic onto the X-Racer in front of him. I'm just trying to get us some information on screen there, but
Yoni being the first driver on the 51s now.
yeah, he managed to get in there.
Of Benjamin.
You got a 4/10 lead in there. That's incredible for that early on.
Yes.
Let's see what our contestants have to say about that. See, Brandon is on 2 green sectors. Can he get it done into here? Doesn't seem like it. He did get a purple sector, and actually he did get it. Would you look at that? The time is lied to me.
Yeah, it seems too late every time on the UI. But yeah, he is the second driver on the 51s, and an improvement by 2.5 tenths of Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, those are leaps and bounds up on the previous lap times. It seems they're just improving lap after lap. I'm wondering if it's just consistency that they're getting, or just getting more familiar with the track, or the few running down. What would you say?
Definitely, the more laps they are doing, the better times you're getting. Since again, it is a short track, and the more laps, the more heat you can get on the tires. So the optimal should be a bit after the first and second laps. As you see, everyone just improving the laps now. Even Brent doing a purple sector, and he's like on his third or fourth lap now. So yeah, they definitely should keep doing laps just to improve the whole lap time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, there is a very small spread between the majority of the field. I mean, if you look at like between P5 or P6 even and like P9, there's less than half a second between those guys. That is an incredible spread so far.
And everything just changed just now, so it's even a larger grid that's closer to each other.
Yeah, I mean, look at the gap between P2 and P3. It's split apart by 9,000ths of a second. That's faster than you blink usually. Let's check what Steve is doing. He's getting a nice show with this nice new green livery that he's been waiting for. He does improve on his times and actually heads up into P2, only 2 tenths behind Brendan.
We saw him win last season even. I think he was on the second race on Knockhill, so he does have some good skill in this track compared to the others. So maybe he can pull up another win here.
Yeah, that would definitely be a great result for him. He's been eyeing the podium, and he's gotten a few podiums, but he hasn't won that race yet this season, which has been mostly Grand Slams by Brandon. Last week, unfortunately for him, he didn't get the Grand Slam. He got the pole position. He got the fastest lap in the race when he won, but ooh, there goes Robert with a very big slide. Well kept, good out of the wall. Just a nice rejoin without hindering anyone.
I don't think Brandon won the first race.
Last week he did, at least. He won the first race. He won the second race, but he didn't get the fastest lap. That was actually taken by, I believe it was Isaac in that race. But here we see Jody Niemi improving his lap time and taking the provisional pole position away from Brandon. Brandon is going to have to step in his game if he wants to start on the top step right there. And I wonder what he can do. I mean, they are looking fast. They are taking every single bit of track there.
Can you show the gap to the leader instead of the relatives to each other?
I will try to check that out. I should be able to do that if you just give me a second. Let's see, this should be a thing that I can do.
So that we can better look at the lap times between the 51s and the 52s, because I think almost everyone on a decent top 10 should have 51.
Yeah, I agree. I just need to be able to check it, and I will get back to you on that one soon.
No, only the top 6 actually. 6, 7, yeah. So as we can see, as you can still some side-by-side action here. But everyone just keeps improving their lap times. I don't think anyone pitted yet. But they're doing more and more laps and just getting their lap time on the spot. As we see Brandon crossing the line, does he get any better? No. His first sector was good, the best one. But I think he got held up by Meta.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm still trying to find that that information on you, that one. I will find that eventually.
There you go.
These are at least the best lap times from them, which is
it's fine like this.
And there we go. That should show the best lap time. Apparently.
Yes. So the top 7 is in the 51s. That's it. The Juha-Pekka, I don't really know how to say the Finnish name. Juha-Pekka Hanta. Is it?
I'm sure he appreciates you trying, but I believe it's Juha-Pekka Rantala. But I think we should just call him Juha. I think he'll.
Juha, okay, yeah.
Juha.
I think
yes.
I think I agree.
Yeah, I think we're gonna stick with that one.
Okay, so yeah, he's really close to to the 51s too, but does he have enough time? He should have. He has a great sector in the middle sector. But from the front sector, there he is. He does
There
improve
goes
it. He goes
up to
fourth
P4
place.
even, 51.753. I mean, you can say what you want, but these guys are just improving lap after lap. They are doing the absolute best they can to make sure they get the car into that position they need to be.
You are just really. I think he got like an off track on this lap. Probably gonna get cancelled. Really pushed the limit.
Is he able to improve? He does cross the start finish line, but I believe that wasn't an improvement on his lap time there. Meanwhile, Yula gets demoted by Benjamin, who takes the last step on the second row of the grid for qualifying. But with 4 minutes to go, it's anyone's game currently. These drivers are doing their absolute best.
You even see the brakes like super going red.
Yeah, I mean, there are some quite heavy braking zones on this track, so it's, I mean, if you, that uphill right corner is just, it's dangerous. Great, but dangerous. Let's see, Yoni can improve his time at 51.3. That is what I believe to be
It is
a
a full lap.
1,000th faster than Brandon.
Wow.
That's a,
And he had 2 yellow sectors too. Like,
Yeah, I mean-
it was just all the gain time was on the middle sector. So maybe he could theoretically make it an even better lap. But where's Brandon to take the top spot?
yeah, I mean, you need purple sectors to, you know, to win. All you need is improvements for yourself, or, as Yoni just showed, a purple sector and 2 yellow ones. I mean, if they're close enough, then... Oh, I see Brendan stopping the lap, boarding. That might come back to bite him for a little bit of speed onto the start finish right there.
I think he's not going to do it on this lap, but the next one. He does have time. He needs 2 minutes total to make a good lap, or 1 minute or 45 seconds or so. And he has enough time. It's just a matter of can he do the lap to take the top spot now. He does have like a clear gap on ahead of him, so it's just an attempt of a lap time.
Yeah, we did see Steve go back to the pit lane after getting the P3. So let's say we ride on board with Brendan for a second there and see what he can put down towards the end of this lap, going towards the very strong hairpin, but he's taking it very wide. I'm assuming he's letting the car behind him past.
No, I think he did it just to get enough speed from the straight. But oh yeah, he just let him pass, I think.
Yeah, leave it, let him pass,
That's
and he just lined himself up for maybe a little bit of a toe there.
I don't think the toes will matter now because he lost too much speed on the entry to the straight. It's gonna be super slow now.
That is not what I was trying to show. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not going to help him there, but we see yellow sectors all around from all the drivers. No improvements so far. But we do see... Oh, no, he's letting him by. I'm assuming he's just getting ready for his last lap. Massimo is currently on the lap, though.
I don't think he has time for it, honestly. If he goes afterwards, he won't have time.
It's going to be dangerous. I mean, he is not really in a position to let it go like that, I'd say.
That's it. It's he has 1 minute left and he didn't cross the line, so it's over.
Yeah, no, I believe that's his qualifying done, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that does mean that Mateo does have a chance to still improve. He does have a green sector, yellow sector for second. He does not currently improve his own time. I don't think anyone currently is on a green lap, as far as I can tell. I'm trying to see if there's any greens in there. Jan Maal is trying to improve his time. He's going towards the final hairpin. Very tricky uphill right-hander. Is he able to improve his time? Oh wait, Brandon is actually on a purple lap, but I'm worried for him that he won't be able to finish it on time.
He
Either
won't.
that or...
It says 10 seconds, he's like 15 seconds.
Yeah, that would be absolutely devastating for him. He's going towards the last corner, but can he finish this? Does he have enough time? I don't think so. No, and that means Brandon does not get pole position. That means for the race, we are going to have the following grid. We're going to have at the front row, we have Yoni with Brandon chasing him down. Second row is Steve Hillwood with Benjamin Kriener getting after him. On fifth, Juha Pekka with James Ibrahim on sixth. Seventh, Isaac Jane and Harry Unila on P8. P9 will be for Robert Koenig and P10 will be for Bram Klaas. P11, Massimo Boni, and P12 is Leon Jenkins. And now if I could only get this thing to go a bit further down, which I absolutely can. There we go. We have Jan Maal on P13, Matteo Lemarais on P14. And finishing the back of the grid is Marek Leolius. Alright, I believe that calls for some predictions, Paolo. What are we expecting? What are we thinking?
I don't know. The first race usually is the calmest one, so I can't even predict like crashes or who wins. It's just probably gonna be a battle for P1 between Yoni and Brandon.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. I mean, it's a very tight T1, and there's a lot of speed to be carried in there, and it's a lot of momentum on this track. So, if something does happen, it's very likely to happen in the first lap here, I'd say.
But it's hard to overtake on this track. On these sectors, because you have some kind of faster corners and not much space. If people do attempt to overtake, it's gonna end up in crashes. But we'll see how cautious the drivers will be. And we are about to go green, I think. So we can see the cars.
I'm trying to. It is not switching, unfortunately. Here we go. There's not a great start from some of the drivers, but Joni comfortably in P1. Both Benjamin and Isaac getting a nice gap here. A good start from Steve Hillwood as well. So far everyone's clean up until the first couple corners. A lot of action there in the midfield with, I believe, Isaac getting pushed wide in the Rick and Morty car. And once again, a little bump, which settles him, but he's still able to keep going.
You see someone taking an alternative route through the sand, but now it should be an opportunity for Brandon to pass. Is he gonna attempt it now? Should be. Yes, he does go to the inside of the corner and gets it done.
Yeah, and manages to run it up to the outside,
Oh,
but
this
goes
goes
quite wide,
wide.
and that gives Joni a chance to come back at him once again.
Yeah, he lost a lot of speed by going into the grass.
Yeah, I believe on the line for slow down. Further back as well, we see a lot of action happening with Robert getting 3 positions at the start of this race. Absolutely blistering start by him. Ooh, that's a very close entry there into turn, I believe, 3 it is.
I think you should reduce the fall. As we see, again, a lot of people are taking that corner on the left side of the grass, sadly, for them. But
Yeah.
everyone's still racing, everyone's still on the track. See a big pack still, everyone's pulled even in the back. Like, no one is missing more than seconds. I mean, we have a gap between Yuna and James, that's 2 seconds, and the rest is usually less than a second, so everyone's keeping it together.
That's
Still
a
Edward
very
being in
tight
first
field.
place.
You
I think if you
got
notice.
a bit of action here, Robert.
Oh!
On to... Ooh, and that's a very sideways there. Thankfully, both of them are able to recover. But that is Robert going wide now, unfortunately not being able to make the next corner. Losing 3 position, and look at the cars jumping. That is touring car right there. I mean, you'd almost say that's... I mean, it's almost rallycross if you look at it. But in the front of the field, we got Joni trying to get a move on to Steve, rather than having fallen back to P3. But still in the mix here. Into the last corner. And still side by side, and that's a pack of 5 cars fighting for the lead now, all within the same second.
Yeah, I think Steve got this. Still sent a nice Yoni just sends it on the inside, but that would be too dangerous. I think he needs to wait for the opportunity. There's still plenty of time, about 14 laps of time left. So be patient yet, but be careful because Brandon is still sneaking up. You see some lovely jumps there, lovely racing lines. I mean, hopefully Steve doesn't get too nervous, but he does do really well on this track.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's in best interest for Brandon and Joni to start fighting behind him so he can just kind of drive away. But
Yeah,
so far, Joni's handling him well. Brandon is having a hard time getting past there. He did get a good exit from the last corner, though, getting a wide line, getting a good exit. That means he should have the option for the inside into the next corner.
oh, he's already taking the opportunity. Yeah. Oh no,
But
no. That's what
he
I
backs out
think.
of it.
Either just goes and sends it, but it would be dangerous. Even he would kill probably Yoni, or just stay back and wait for next opportunity.
Yeah, unfortunately, we saw the same thing happen last week with some drivers. Unfortunately, getting on Magnicor, getting into the fast chicanes too wide or sending a little bit too late, usually ends in disaster. Not in a nice way. We did see Bromklaas going off track. He did come back on, but let's have a little look, see what happened there. I believe it's just him missing the last part of the corner, going a bit too fast over the chicanes, and getting the send afterwards. Thankfully, that's very well being able to recover from that. Let's take a look at our lead fight here. Still going at it, still going strong.
Isaac is out of the race. The
Isaac
outrider more the car driver.
is indeed out of the race. I'm trying to see what happened here, but I'm not getting any big notifications. I did see Isaac going off.
Seems like the biggest gainer here is Matteo. He gained 5 positions. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, that's where it happened. Unfortunately,
Yeah, there's a lot of touches, yeah.
that's very unfortunate. That's a very hard wall. Yeah, I believe that will be the reason of him into the pit lane, unfortunately.
Drivers still have one fast repair. Maybe he went to tow, maybe he come out too. But yeah, he's the only one that's a lap behind the other drivers. Everyone else is still in it, and as we see, yeah, Matteo gaining 5 positions and now it's P9. And Steve still in the lead, but let's see how long he can keep it, because Yoni just had the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, he's blistering behind him. He's doing absolutely everything he needs to do to get there. Currently, he's still being comfortable. He's still being... I mean, he's still keeping Brandon behind him as well. I mean, that's no feat by... I mean, that's nothing to what do you call it? Nothing to be ashamed of in and of itself. See a couple cars back. He's still within the nice same second. Brum had a little movement, I believe, here as well. Thankfully, he managed to recover there. Back to the lead of field. Oh, we did see Matteo getting an overtake done on to Massimo. Or getting overtaken by Leon, even. And still has Massimo on his rear. Can he get this done? He doesn't get into the braking zone, so he has to be careful not to touch the cars. He does get a little dude from behind.
He did get touched from behind, though.
Yeah, that's rude, as we like to say. And last week, Matteo not being happy with his performance on the track, on his home track there. Oh, he does get another bump that might unsettle him, but it doesn't, thankfully. Still able to keep it going.
I guess Massimo really was passive since he sees that Matteo's being really slow, but you gotta be more patient. And he gets hit from behind now because he was a bit more patient. It's complicated when you have a slow driver ahead of you, but you gotta wait for the right opportunity, not just hit every time you do a corner.
And that now also means that Massimo is now under threat from Hari from behind. If he doesn't watch out, not only is he not able to overtake Matteo, but he might also get overtaken by the driver behind.
Hopefully Massimo doesn't have a front bumper damage, because he's going to lose a lot of top speed.
Yeah, and I mean, as little downforce as these cars have, you still want as much as you can for these tight, windy corners.
It does seem like he's losing speed, though. You saw how Harry just got really close to him on the straight. Yeah, he does have rear damage, though.
Yeah, that looks like a bit of a bump.
It could affect him on other parts. But yeah, you see how close Harry's getting to him.
He's able to put any wheels on there. No, he backs out for the last corner. He just needs to line up a good exit there. That's excellent for the last corner.
And now Massimo can take the opportunity to pass, but Matteo still wants to defend it. And now he goes to the left side. What is Matteo doing? He's pushing him too hard. Of course, Massimo is going to still do an attempt at an overtake. And he does it. A little bump there on the right side of Matteo, but both cars are through Matteo. Yeah,
and that's 2 for the price of 1. That must hurt, being Matteo putting on maybe a bit too much of a squeeze there. Not getting the optimal line. And unfortunately that ends up...
Oh, I thought he was going to try and overtake that. It would be dangerous. He was going to hit Harry, but fortunately for the drivers involved, he backed out of it.
Yeah, and look at this 5-foot lead. There's still 3-way bumper to bumper to bumper for P1, and with about, what is it, 5-6 minutes to go? That's this is bound to be coming down to a last lap battle, I feel. But we do see an overtake. Matteo slowing down. I believe that was a slowdown that he had to surf. Which means now not only does he get overtaken by Massimo and Harry, he also gets overtaken by Jan. And you should look at those cars jumping. That is an absolute great curb. And these are the cars for those curbs.
Steve is still managing to put a gap in some of the corners. He's really doing a good job here. He's really contending for the race win, and not just an opportunity that he gained. No, he's actually being really fast in here.
Yeah, I mean, that livery, he said the livery was going to give him like 2 or 3 tenths, and it looks absolutely true looking at the race. We do have to be wary, because race 2 is going to mean top 10 reverse grid. So we're going to have to see in race 2 how they manage to get through the field. But so far, Steve got in the lead. He got 2 positions from the start. And he's keeping it there. He's doing everything he has to do. Let's see if they can line something up. So far, still not. I mean, Steve is holding his ground.
The top 3 are the only close cars to each other. The rest has like big gaps into each other.
Yeah, there's one car trying to chase down. We saw before Massimo fighting with Matteo.
Yeah.
And now we've got Harry on the tail of Massimo as well. Getting really close, and we see them coming up to, is that a lap car or is that simply the car in front of them? No, that's simply Leon in front of him.
Yeah. So it seems that Massimo didn't get as much of a speed deficit from the bump hitting. So I guess he can keep that place. But it does seem like he was going slower at some points. Who knows? Maybe the damage wasn't as hard as we thought.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't just physical damage, maybe it was just a bit of mental damage. You know, you get hit, you start wondering, is there damage on my car, is there something wrong with it? And that can play a big part as well in racing, as I'm sure you're very well aware of. Just trying to reset your head, getting your head back into the game and trying to, you know, get into racing again, it's tough sometimes. Okay, let's see if Harry can do anything here. Meanwhile, they are catching up to the back of Leon faster and faster, lap by lap. Harry unfortunately not having the greatest race so far, with losing 3 positions from the start of his race. But, I mean, there's still chances to make up for that. He is trying to line up a move on Massimo, but it's so incredibly hard to overtake on this track, it seems like. Look at him, bumper to bumper. And he's not able to get past anywhere. You need to force the driver in front of you to make a mistake, or get a much better exit into the last hairpin. Let's check back with the... No, can he again move? Oh, he sets the to the inside. He does get the move done, it seems like. Oh, but a touch on the apex. That must hurt both of them quite a bit. They are now side by side though. Side by side heading towards turn 1. I haven't seen any race control messages. I'm assuming they are looking into most of the incidents we've seen so far, and that we'll get some feedback on those eventually. That is still Massimo in front of Hari. Fortunately, Hari not making the position, but we did see a move for P1. Yoni has finally got him past Steve. And I believe Brandon is now also on the inside of Steve. Can he keep it going into T1? I do believe he has a little bit of a gap, but a little switch back there, and look at him slide. Steve is fighting for his life there.
Yeah,
unfortunately, sometimes just a little bit too much. Brandon now has the position, but they're still side by side, a little tap, but it seems Brandon has the position, and that's in one lap he was in two positions. That must hurt.
Yeah, and he went off track too, so you know, went on this class, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what happened there. Let's look back at the move for P1. See, it seems into the hairpin, he only gets side by side. Or just before that, I believe.
This wasn't even on the hairpin, it was even before, and we see
That's the
Brendan
corner
just
before.
drafting him to get faster.
Yep, working together. I didn't know that was allowed, but poor Steve has to be at the... Yeah,
Ooh.
And that's unfortunately a little bit on the end, is all a bit hardy-bargy, but... No, driver's still fighting. Unfortunately, Steve has dropped a little bit of a gap towards Brandon and Joni there.
No, Brendan is actually catching again.
Yeah, Brandon is working on it. He wants a position with only probably 1 or 2 laps to go.
Yeah.
I don't believe this is the final lap. I believe they are going towards the final lap.
He still has a chance. He's going to probably do it on the hairpin. If not on this lap, the next one, of course.
I'm going to show him onto the last lap.
Anytime he can get in first place, he's going to try it.
Of course. I mean, he is that kind of person. He wants to win. He's a very good driver, and he shows people. And
it's
especially
that after all that happened, all the overtakes and stuff, the top 6 is still the one that qualified.
Yep. After everything is returned to its quote-unquote natural order.
Yeah.
Checking the back here, Harry is trying to get a move onto Massimo, but maybe a good exit here. Unfortunately doesn't, so let's head back to the top 2 drivers. And I believe this is the white flag lap.
Brent did the mistake that he lost a lot of time. I guess his opportunity to take first place is out. So yeah, that's it for Johnny.
Unless there's a big move there, but I believe Harry did overtake Massimo.
Oh, that's actually a slow down for Massimo.
Ooh, that is hurt. We do see checker flag. Let's check our drivers. We see Johnny heading in P1, Brandon in P2, Steve finishing P3, Benjamin P4, Juha getting onto the start finish right now, and we see him coming home in P6. A solid P6. Robert Koning into P7. Brom heading into the last corners now. P8. Here we see the gang of Leon, Harry, and Massimo. With Jan following shortly. French driver of Matteo Umare, and the last driver on the track, Marek Leolis, ending in P14, with unfortunately the one DNF being Isaac for this race. Let's see if I can get the results on screen. Unfortunately, that doesn't always want to show, but we will try to. There we go. And this is the results from Heat 1. With Johnny in P1, Brandon in P2, Steve P3, Benjamin in P4, Juha P5, James P6, Robert P7, Bram P8, Leon P9, Harry P10, Massimo P11, Jan P12, Matteo P13, Marek P14, and unfortunately Isaac DNFing in race 1. So, Paolo, with a reverse top 10 grid, that means we're going to have Harry starting on pole position. Do you think he can hold on to his position?
Well, finished 40 seconds behind. But that was because he had some trouble with traffic, for example, with Matteo and Massimo, which they were battling, so to say. So maybe he can keep it up if he doesn't do any mistakes now that he's clean ahead. But even so, we didn't see anyone get lapped, even for the short track. So everyone seems to keep a relative good pace here.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to end up being a very exciting race, I feel like. I wonder how the trio of Yoni, Brandon, and Steve are going to do trying to get their way through the field. I mean, Steve did very well at the start, getting 2 positions and, you know, holding the lead for what is it, like 13 out of 15 laps there. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to keep it. So it's going to be interesting seeing how they try to get through the field, and especially how with the starts. I mean, anything can happen, really. So it's as much keeping your head clean as trying to go for moves. So yeah, we're just having the drivers having a little break, having them able to go to the toilet, having them, you know, get their head clear for race 2, making any adjustments they need to do. See a couple drivers heading
Also,
on.
I'm curious now that Steve is back ahead of Yoni and Brandon. If he can do the overtake soon, maybe he can get the win that he was almost gonna get in this race.
Yeah, I mean, it was very close for him. It's all going to depend on how the drivers get through the field, because, you know, being able to hold onto a lead is one thing, or failing to hold onto a lead is one thing, but getting through the field while trying to hold onto your lead is, or trying to gain the lead, is going to be tricky, and it's going to require a lot of patience, but also a lot of concentration to make sure you get through there. Because, I mean, it's only 50 minutes. It's not like you have like an hour to weave your way through the field.
No, but we've seen countless times of being far behind and still managing to win. Many times from Brandon's side, even. Usually, it's the races that he has the most fun because it's the times that he has to work for the position, not just start in first place. Even though in this one, he didn't start in first place, he actually he never got the lead on the whole race. So maybe he finally has a challenge here for the championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually those races where you have to weave your way through the field that are probably the most fun, also stressful as a driver. But, you know, it all depends on the driver. Some people just prefer to drive away with the, you know, with the 20-second lead, never seeing anyone again. But that's it's all up to the drivers.
Yeah, but that's not really racing, is it?
Everything is racing, you know.
It's more like hot lapping if you're going alone. Racing, you have to work for the position. That's
True.
why some drivers prefer that. It's more exciting, even for us watching and for those involved.
I agree. And we are getting the lights on, which means race 2 is about to start. And with 3, 4, 5 lights on, lights off, and away we go. And that's not a great start from Hari so far. Leon immediately taking the lead. And Hari just dropping down positions so far. We did get a great start from Steve there as well, getting 2 positions, and everyone's getting through relatively safe. Let's see what's happening in the middle field. And there's a spin, unfortunately. I think that was James Ibram getting tapped there. We'll check back what's happening there soon. Another couple drivers going off track. I believe that was very hard to see. That was Yoni, actually, yeah.
The race winner of the race 1 is actually on the back of everyone.
And that's basically from hero to zero real quick, and that's unfortunately what can happen with those reverse grid races. It's hard to get through the field, but into the hairpin we go. A lot of drivers, and it's a little bit of tap as well. Massimo getting...
That wasn't Massimo. Massimo is in the back.
Ooh, there's unfortunately a lot of hardy-bardy going on right there, which unfortunately happens sometimes when you get the fast drivers with the less fast drivers trying to get the way through the field.
Even so, Brandon's being patient because he's still in 9th place. That's the position he started at.
Yeah, he has done absolutely nothing to get himself further that far. But Steve, meanwhile, though, getting 4 positions. Benjamin getting 5. Look at him go. I believe that's a slowdown from Leon. Alright, well, we have a couple seconds. Let's see if we can check what happened at the start of the race with Brandon. He actually went off track. I believe that's one of the reasons why. So James went off track, which is, I believe, the incident what happened before. Is that what I was trying to see? That's not what I was trying to see.
This was after the first lap. right? Or the first
Yeah.
quarter.
Oh, and there's a big accident happening, I believe. A bit of a chain effect here. What I believe I just saw in my logs. This is correct. No? Oh, there we go. That's... Oh,
Oh!
wow. That
What?
is a
This must
Mateo
be-
that not able to brake.
Interesting.
Let's check
What
what
did-
happened here. Did he get tapped in this side? That's the reason why he went? Oh yeah, he went sideways there. That is the most unfortunate way to go, and just rejoining, not being able to... Ah,
Just
that
went-
is
He just went
absolutely...
bowling.
That is what we call Bottas bowling in there. And that has shaken up the field quite a bit. Brandon managed to get his way through, but I believe that was Robert, Leon, and Mateo that were, you know, took the brunt of that one. I'm sure we'll get some race control messages eventually about what happened there.
Yeah, we
that
even
was,
saw Brett just losing his front there. So none of the... Well, what is Steve? Yeah, Steve is gaining because he is in P3 now. He's
Yeah.
he finally got the opportunity to win that race.
I mean, he got through. Meanwhile, you know, Brandon, he is in the pit lane, so he was part of that. And no, there's
Oh, Yoni! What happened to Yoni? He's out.
lots of... we're... Well done, we had checking. There's a lot of stuff happening at the same time, unfortunately. Let's see what happened to Yoni. He managed to avoid the car there. Car's going off track, coming back, and unfortunately that's once again very unfortunate moves there. Just
Yeah.
trying to do everything you can to get past it, seeing all the chaos unfold, and unfortunately is being at the brunt of that. And I'm sure Race Control is having a very, very tough time this race so far. I do not envy them in the slightest currently.
I mean, after what we've seen of the discipline of the race 1, I expect the race 2 to be a bit chaotic, but this was too much.
Yeah, I mean, this is more than we expected as well. And that does mean that with Brandon out, this race could be anyone's game. As you can see, with the top 4 still being almost within a second of each other. Currently on board with Steve, looking to make his way up onto that one higher podium step. Lining himself up. You see Brum, he is trying to drive a bit defensively, which could be his downfall. There's also some lap cars in between the field here. No, they are not. I am absolutely mistaken. Fastest lap for Steve as well, 52.5. He's getting there. Oh, and he loses the car.
Lost it!
Oh, what is happening? Everything is going on.
Was that just his nerves just breaking down at the front of us?
I'm assuming so. Let's check out what happened here. I think that was just him. Yeah, too much of the curb, and the car just went and kept going. And that's absolute heartbreak there.
He's still in P4 because P5 is a huge gap behind him, but now he's completely out of the top 3. Even though he was faster, now even the drivers that are like behind are doing the faster side, so yeah, Race Control is gonna have fun. You can see already.
Yeah, they're gonna have something to do, unfortunately. Race 1 was pretty quiet and uneventful, but race 2 has been very so far. Oh, that's a big move from Benjamin. Oh no!
And they crashed
Oh
into each
no!
other.
That is going from bad to worse.
Oh man, look, now Benjamin has a clear lead from everyone. Everyone behind him just messing up.
That is unfortunate, and there's nothing you can do as the inside driver. Trying his best to avoid everything, but there's just nothing more you can do. It does mean Benjamin has a magnificent lead of 5 seconds now, thanks to that. But that does mean Steve Hilbert is back in the game for a podium position.
Yes, he is. Even after all that happened, he can still even be in P2. Because he doesn't have the damage at least, he just lost it. While the others were ahead of him, did a little tap. So yeah, we'll see if he can gain some position. At least another P2, another podium position for sure on race 2. He's gonna get more points than everyone on this weekend. If you say weekend, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the way you wanted it to, but you know. At least he's trying. Let's check real quick. Fastest lap times. I believe Brendan just set the fastest lap time with a 51.5, which is leaps and bounds clear of P2 here, almost by a second, I believe. I think it's about 8 tenths. But he's a man on a mission currently. So yeah, I'd say biggest winner so far of P2. Definitely Benjamin, managed to keep his nose clean. Great to see a Honda on the top step of podium as well. Honda's never really been known for their you know, likeness of curbs, and this track has a lot of the curbs that you want to munch on as much as you can.
I think they fixed it a bit. So, and there we go. He's a P3. It's not over yet, but he has the inside of the next corner. As long as he's in this line, and he gave up. And that's both of them
going right across.
Yeah.
That is
even though we saw the Hyundai does a rally, I don't think this is the right car to do rally.
No, I mean, I don't think either of them wants to be rally car today, but it does seem like they are going for it. Meanwhile, behind him, James Ebram looking to make a move on to Massimo Boni. It seems like he is on the inside. He's going wide. He's using all of the track to make sure Massimo has to go the long way around it, and he gets that position into P5. So well done from James there on the attack. But meanwhile, Steve, he's staring down the rear splitter of the Audi in front of him. I see some massively different lines here, which is very interesting to see. But unfortunately, the track is so tight and the track is so flowy that it's not easy to use those different lines to your advantage there.
I mean, it's complicated. Even the way you drive these cars is not the usual race driving lines, because these are front-wheel drive cars. So the way you push with the throttle, it's going to be different. As we see, maybe a little switchback. Is he going to try and switch back? Oh, no. Apparently, Bram still keeps him on the inside.
Yeah, he is getting closer. He has a good run, and he has the outside, which I think is the preferred line for T1, but
then you're going to get the opportunity to be sent out by Bram.
Ooh, that's contacts, and that's Bram going sideways. He managed to recover, unfortunately right into the line of James, who manages to avoid it. But that is a position for Steve. But the question, did he get that legitimately, or was that a bit more argy-bargy than either of us would have liked to see?
Exactly, because from the outside, yeah, it might be vintage for them. I don't even say it's not vintage, because the inside of this corner is going to be best, but yeah, it's about giving space, and I don't know who's in fault here.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully for us, we're not the ones who have to decide that, so let's keep it up to the way more classified people of our race control team who are going to be on this race. I can see them in the channel sitting there typing their little fingers off.
Someone in chat, Josh, asked to see James turn 1 crash. We did see him go off, and I don't actually remember what happened to him. Right afterwards, also we saw Isaac. So, what did happen to James? But at least from all the incidents, he actually got ahead, because he kept it away from most accidents that happened afterwards.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what the incident was.
It was on that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back there. There's a lot of events going on currently, so I'm just trying to see what we can find there.
Brandon's still keeping with the fastest laps with 51.3. I think it's the fastest even.
I believe this was the turn 1 instance with James unfortunately getting...
Yeah. I think he went too wide, and then he returned too hard on a corner that you need to do a bit wide on the outside of the corner to get a proper racing line. So he cut too much and hit the other car. So yeah.
Yeah, it's always a tough one there. I mean, it's never a fun way to have to rejoin, and especially with these cars which have the limited grip. It's never an easy time. I'm just looking at the gaps. Unfortunately, all the cars are a little bit away. So, Paulo, how about you take us with the onboard lap with one of these drivers?
Honestly, I don't even remember the track.
Well, I guess it's as good as time as any to learn. Who do you want to be on? You want to be with the current
Yeah,
person
sure.
to win this race? Let's take Benjamin going through the, I believe that's second to last corner, onto the little back straight into the final corner soon.
I don't even know where the off tracks exactly are in this track. Because sometimes it's lenient, but sometimes it can punish you a lot. And on this track, I'm not even sure. I have driven in it here. But
All right, let's see what we can do. So the first one is the downhill right left-hander with a little chicane in it. Let's see. You take all of the curb on the right side, and you take all of the curb on the left side, and brake into the sharp right-hander. Assuming, since he's in a Honda, you don't want to take too much curb here. You get up to the left-hander, take all of the curb again. Man, this would kill the old Honda, I believe. Here we go, onto the quote-unquote back straight into the hairpin again. It's a very short lap if you look at it like this. I mean,
it is, yeah.
Even if you're not looking at it like this, it's a very short lap, but I mean...
It is. Even with these cars, you only do it in 51, 52 seconds, so you can tell by how sharp it is. It's even weird when you think the IMSA ran here. How?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, seeing these cars single class, there's barely any places to overtake. It's such a flowing track.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would put a multi-class series on this with cars that go faster than this and are wider than this. It's
And you can tell with these cars, even though they're a bit high and the suspension allows it, they use a lot of curves and the car jumps a lot. Imagine this with low cars. It should be horrible.
Yeah, I mean the downforce cars here is gonna be scary. I mean,
yeah.
I believe they ran this before the LMP2 was changed, so it's thankfully these days it can get a bit more of the curbs than before. But before, I mean, you hit a curb and it's basically just, you know, goodbye car.
With the old damage mode, it was horrible to drive above curves.
Yep.
So yeah, after all that happened, we see Bretton started in the same position, and Yoni as well. How about that?
Yeah, I mean,
P10.
that's something we didn't expect. I mean, if you told me 40 minutes after the start, Brandon would be in P9 and Johnny would be in P10, exactly where they started, I would have called you crazy, but I mean, here we are.
Yeah, and also to note that I think it's 7 people are 1 lap behind. Well, previously everyone finished except for Isaac, which left early, was on the lead lap.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me that a car was winning by 8 seconds in this race, and that car wasn't Brendan, I would have called you crazy.
Exactly. It's something we expect from Brendan to do, but not this time.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Benjamin. He kept his nose completely clean. He managed to just get out of trouble and keep going. And same with you. I mean, going up 4 positions, going from P6 to P2, that's a valiant effort in and of itself.
And you know what's important as well? To not break it under pressure.
I mean, yeah, we've all done it. We've all made mistakes. We've all cracked under the pressure of leading a race, thinking, hey, you know, I've got this. I can get in there. I can get this for free. But sometimes it just doesn't work that way. But what does work that way is Benjamin crossing the last corner, going onto the start-finish line, weaving, celebrating. And I believe that would be his first win. And that is congratulations to Benjamin on a well-deserved P1 in race 2.
Also, we have a Scottish winning on Scotland.
How much better could we have it? A Scot winning in Scotland.
That's his home race right there.
Yeah, that's us. That's absolutely great. What we had to see. So yeah, finishing out the provisional top 4. It's a bit of a crazy one because people are lapped down. So fortunately, I couldn't catch everyone crossing start finish. Who's the last ones to cross the start finish line will be Robert, Matteo. Oh, Matteo's still having a fight there with Harry. One of them making a mistake there. And that should be Harry finishing just behind Matteo there, unfortunately for him. But that should be our race done. So let's take you over to the race results and see how we finished up here. So, as we said, in P1 we have Benjamin, P2, Juha Pekka, P3, Steve Hillwood, P4, James Ibram, P5, Massimo Boni, P6, Brian Chitas, P7, Robert Koenig, P8, Jan Meld, P9, Joni Niemi, P10, Matteo Lemure, P11, Harry Unila, P12, Brandon Hawken. I believe he might have had an accident there at the last part, unfortunately for him, but P13, Marek Leolias, and P14, Leon Jenkins, with Isaac Jane unfortunately having a DNF this race. Or DNS this race, actually, for race 2. So yeah, that was quite crazy. That was very unexpected. I'm just trying to see if we can get our good friend Benjamin in for a let's see if we can get some people in there. We need some interviews here. And I believe we do have...
Ben is ready.
In our channel, and that is Ben Greener. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, what a turn of events. P1, a Scotsman winning on a Scottish track.
Yeah, it's what you like to see.
It's what we love to see here. Yeah, congratulations first of all. So what are your thoughts after that race?
Yeah, I think survival was key, to be honest. What both races showed was tire warm-up is killer, especially around here. And I think that's what the majority of the incidents are owed to, because the majority of them happened at the start, and it was just no one has any grip for 5-6 laps. The Honda in particular is quite bad. It takes a little bit longer, which is why I fell away in the first race. Just really couldn't keep with the guys in front. But no, I'm really pleased with the night as a whole, to be honest. A couple of good results.
Yeah, I mean, you kept your nose clean. You did what you had to do, and most importantly, you didn't crack under pressure when you were, leading the race there. So that's an absolutely amazing result.
Yeah.
What do you? Did you see any of the action happening behind you? Unfortunately,
I caught a little bit when Bram went off. I just managed to tuck on his inside, and then I saw he got collected, and that was about as much as I saw. I didn't see what happened to who is it? The two guys who won the first race. Brandon,
Brandon and Yoni.
Yeah.
Yes, Yoni.
I didn't see what happened to those two. I was fully expecting them to be chasing us down, to be honest. And I did see Steve go off as well, but I think he did. He managed to recover that. So it was all about staying clean, and I wasn't the quickest guy out there today, not by a long shot, but keeping the car in one piece really paid off.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you don't have to be the quickest to win. You just have to be, the one that finishes first.
That's
right?
it, yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, I mean, absolutely beautiful. We couldn't have asked for a better result with a Scottish driver finishing first on a Scottish track. So absolutely amazing that you managed to do that for us, and of course for yourself as well.
I appreciate it.
So next week we're gonna have an entirely different challenge, Chicago Street Circuit. What are your experiences in that one?
A couple of races in the old Porsche Cup car, but that's about it really. But I think it's a great track, and hopefully these cars will go well on there. As long as we can avoid the lap 1 shenanigans that we've had here, with the cold tires, then it should be a good night.
Yeah, I mean, all fair. Would you say that a little bit more track temperature would potentially help with that one?
I think so, yeah. It was just purely because, I mean, you look in qualifying, for example, all the best times are coming right at the end when everyone's tires are, almost a race distance old, which tells you something about, the temperature and the grip levels and everything else. So hopefully if the track is a little bit hotter, the tires will come to us a little bit quicker. Otherwise, I'm just looking forward to it, to be honest.
Beautiful. I mean, we're looking forward to it as well. Any final thoughts?
No, not particularly. Just, it's my first season in Anti-Stall, and I'm really enjoying it. So thanks for putting it on, and I look forward to the next one.
Thanks for the kind words. We absolutely love having you guys here. And again, great result for race 1. I mean, for race 1, for round 3, I should say. And we hope to see you on the podium again for next race.
I hope so too. Thanks, guys.
Beautiful. All right, have a good one, mate.
Take care.
Right, and we're just gonna see if we can get some other people on as well. Unfortunately, I haven't seen anyone else hop into the interview.
It's James and Brandon.
We do actually. Dealer's choice. Who would you like, Brandon, James?
Can bring you both in here.
Let's go for a crazy one. Let's get both of them in here.
Yeah.
And that's one, and that is number
He's gone.
2. Good evening, both Brendan and James.
Hello.
Hello. Let's start with you there, James. P4 in the second race. Was that what you wanted to get, or was that best of the worst situation in the end?
Well, it was probably the best of a worst situation because I was well last after lap 1. I cannot. These were the first time I've actually driven this car in a race. I'd not practiced grid starts, so I had no idea how to actually get off the line in this thing. So both my starts were terrible.
Really, you've never been in touring cars? I thought you have.
No, this is the first time I've actually done a race with them. I've done a couple laps at Imola as a bit of a test run, and then that's it. I've never actually done a race in the touring cars.
Interesting.
So this was a bit of an experiment, yeah.
Yeah. So how did you feel your GT and prototype experience carrying over to this? Was there any overlap, or was it a completely different beast?
There's no overlap between this and a P2, in my opinion. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's completely the opposite. Because on a P2, you just don't have that like super twitchy rear. Like you can set it up to be that way, but you want it to be as flat as possible and as planted as possible through the corners. You don't really want it stepping out, and it's quite hard to get it to step out as well. And this thing, you want it to step out on like corner entry to get that rotation, to get that front end, and it's such a different driving experience. And it took me quite a while to get sort of the hang. Even I only had 15 minutes practice before we got into this session. So like every single lap, I was learning something new about the lines. It's just completely unique way of driving, and I do like the front wheel drive component of it. You can't just sort of floor it on exit. You've got to be more measured, and it's sort of the same with coming off the brakes as well. It's all a bit more measured than the P2. The P2 you can be like pretty aggressive with your inputs, and you'll probably come off fine. But this you can be harsh on, but coming off you got to be real careful. And the understeer on acceleration as well. If you're too aggressive in too low a gear, you'll just understeer wide, as I did so many times.
Yeah, I mean those are very wise words on that one. I mean it's an entirely different breed of cars, and thankfully we have one of the masters of this breed of cars in here as well, Brendan. Good evening, Brendan.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening. So just to catch up on that one as well, race 1, you had a pretty eventful evening, finishing P2.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna carry on with that one. Race 2, you pretty much. You were to finish in the same position you started. Unfortunately, you dropped down a couple of positions further at the end as well. So I believe you were involved in that unfortunate accident there that we saw with, I believe, who was it, Matteo?
Yeah, it was
a
Matteo.
whole
They
bunch
went
of
bowling.
cars. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, that was that was wild. First off, that first race was a ton of fun. Steve did a great job holding us off there, and Yoni really great race as well. That was so much fun battling with them throughout the entire race. Me and Yoni had a little bit of a messy start. I kind of followed him just a little bit too far to the inside. We both got a slowdown penalty, and then from there, it was trying to get past Steve. Steve did a really great job holding us off, and we had a really great battle. So that was great from both of them. And second race, yeah, completely different story. There was chaos. I didn't even know what happened during that wreck. I thought maybe like a car got like glitched into a curb or something and got stopped on the track for how violently we all hit. Like I just saw a car exploding a couple cars ahead of me, and I didn't know what happened, but I guess there was a car spinning backwards coming into the corner. So you know what, I was disappointed. I got a meatball there, but you know what, it was pretty funny. So you know I won't complain too much. That was I mean I guess there's worse ways to get taken out. That was that was really interesting. So and then after that, I was just trying to get as much time as I could. I forgot to check my fast repair, so I ended up having to take all my requireds, and then it let me go without taking the fast repair, even though I
Oh,
checked it
that's
in the
quite
pits.
that
So I had
hurts.
to, I took off, and the car was still destroyed. So I had to back up, pull back in, and then yeah. So after that, I was just I saw there was a penalty up ahead of me with Jan, I think, and so I just wanted to get within 10 seconds of him, and I wasn't checking, or I didn't know about the incident points. I went over the curb and said I had 15 out of 15 incident points. So
Yeah.
um,
I was gonna
That
ask,
explains a lot.
you're supposed to finish ninth, but you're now in 12th. That's what happened?
yeah, that's what
Oh.
happened. I was gonna come in that lap because it was two to go, and then and then I was like, you know what? Maybe if I go in on the last lap, it'll still serve it without giving me, or without having to like take as much of a hit for time. But then as soon as I was passing it, I realized pit entry was just after the finish line.
Yes.
So I came in on the final lap, but it was too late because I already passed the finish line.
Yes, the old Schumacher special, I guess, huh?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
it reminded me.
Yeah, very fortunate. But yeah, I mean, on the opposite hand, we have James here with a P6 finish in Heat 1 and P4 in the second race. Looking forward to next week, Chicago Street
I have to
Circuit.
say one thing though, James.
Of course.
From the first incident on the first lap, he got really lucky that it was just it happened before and not afterwards, because so many people got caught up on the hairpin that James actually got away with all the accidents.
Yeah, I had a perfect view of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this car spinning. I was like, oh, I could just see all these cars stacked up at the hairpin, and it's just like this bowling ball heading straight towards them. I was thinking, oh, car spinning, boom. Yeah, it was quite a violent explosion of car parts.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes an accident is a blessing in disguise, and I guess for you this time it was.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, as I was trying to say, P6 in the first race, P4 in the second race. Logically, if I extrapolate that for next week onto Chicago Street Circuit, it's going to be a P2 and a P1.
I mean, you got one data point effectively. I'm not sure. I don't think I even own this Chicago Street Circuit, so I might have to go buy it.
Yeah, it's
I mean-
gonna be really interesting. It's kind of like, I guess, Indianapolis in a way. Lots of square corners, and it's gotta be really tight though. Lots of walls to avoid, and But James, yeah, really great job today. Man, for your first race, that was incredible, and yeah, really great pace as well. So yeah, good stuff to you.
That means a lot coming from someone who is genuinely rapid at this stuff.
Oh, thanks.
I was just when you sort of unlapped yourself over me, I was just like following and going, damn, I cannot actually throw it into that corner. Like the turn one, like you were absolutely launching over that curve, and I was like, I do not have the confidence to actually send it that hard at that corner. So yeah, honestly, you've got such great pace. I'm sure you'll bounce back next week with a fat win, surely.
Oh, we'll see. You never know. So. But thank you.
Yeah, I mean, kind words all around. So far, great race from all of you. Unfortunately, with some incidents, but as we see in racing, shit happens unfortunately sometimes. And I'm sure race control will deal with it accordingly for whatever needed. So yeah, any closing thoughts from either of you?
Sorry. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. I think it's gonna be, there's gonna be a lot more. I guess it probably won't be quite as chaotic as what we saw today, but there's gonna be some action for sure. Especially, I think there's like one or two corners where there's like a wall on the inside, but you have to but you're like apexing like way further to the inside than the wall on the exit on the inside is. It's kind of hard to explain, but
Yeah.
there's gonna be some action for sure, and I'm looking forward to it. So it's always great racing here, and yeah, we'll see what we can do next week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to next week. I'll see if I can find an actual setup for a change. I just threw on a Road Atlanta setup and hope for the best on this one. So maybe there's a setup out there. I don't know, but I'll definitely have a bit more practice time for next week, and I'm looking forward to it. Full sends only. So
Of course, that's the only way it should be. Beautiful.
exactly.
All right. And on those wise words, I'm gonna thank you guys for being here. Great talking to you guys, and we hope to see you again next week on Chicago Street Circuit. I just want to take the time to thank Paolo for being a great commentator with us here. Couldn't have done it without you, mate. Thank you for being there. And the quack confirms it. Beautiful. All right, and with that one, we are going to close out the evening. So everyone who's still watching, thank you for tuning in to round 3 of the NSL Racing Touring Car Series. Next week we'll be back on the Chicago Street Circuit, same time, same place. We hope to see you there. Have a beautiful evening.